Hello, my name is Teresa Kinnaird. I'm an FCCLA at Ferguson High School. I'm in level 2. This is for food innovations. My project name is Going Bananas for Cupcake Perfection. And I'm going to share my screen now so you can see my presentation. Let me go back. So this is the cover, Going Bananas for Cupcake Perfection. And then here's the table of contents where you can find the identification page, the planning sheet, the prototype formula, the new recipe, the product testing, the nutrition information, the equipment safety and sanitation, the suggested and actual pricing, the product summary, and some pictures of my project. So here's my identification page. My name is Teresa Kinnaird. I go to Ferguson, John A. Ferguson Senior High. I'm in Miami, Florida. The event is Food Innovations, and my project name is Going Bananas for Cupcake Perfection. Here is my planning process. So my main concern was that cupcakes over time have just become something for sugar, and people have forgotten the full potential a cupcake could have. So in my recipe, I included potassium and substituted regular sugar for a healthier alternative, stevia. And my goal is to keep cupcakes sweet and tasty, but to improve the recipe by reducing the sugar and increasing the potassium this way. Cupcakes can still be a tasty treat, but as well more healthy for you, so you can keep having them. Now, my plan was so that I don't really have a set audience. It's more worldwide. Anyone can use it, and so the mission is that anyone can use this product, the recipe, or even buy the cupcakes with this little box that I have that includes the nutrition information. It says sweet on the cover. It's just a little prototype, and so even bakeries or companies or stores will provide this new recipe, an ingredient, and product. And overall, my project was about $40, including the board and ingredients. And my resources were Canva to make my PowerPoint and a cookbook from a distant relative from the 1930s. And the ingredients in the board were from my local grocery store, and the links were provided by FCCLA. The overall evaluation of this project is to improve the nutrition and health of these cupcakes. I came to the idea to reduce the sugar and increase the potassium in these cupcakes when I realized how dangerous it could potentially be from putting too much sugar into cupcakes, like diabetes or potential health problems. And the follow-up would be to spread this idea of this recipe out, and hopefully people notice the impacts sugar can have and take on this new recipe. Here is the original prototype formula. So the ingredients and then the steps overall. And then for the new recipe, there's only a little bit of changes, as you can see. Instead of shortening, I use Crisco. Instead of sugar, I use stevia. And then while improving the recipe, it was recognized that none of the measurements were changed, but the stevia was the lesser amount of sugar as the healthier alternative, and since it's a natural sweetener, and it has several benefits such as lower blood sugar levels and has little to no side effects, unlike regular sugar. Now here are some pictures of me making the cupcakes. This was the first batch here, and here I'm sifting the flour and putting them in the oven. And then here are my stevia cupcakes, which were just as good. And after testing both recipes, I found that stevia was just as tasty, and it had a new texture that I actually really liked more than the original cupcakes. And nothing really went wrong with making it. And the stevia made the cupcakes have less amount of sugar, but also the texture I liked. And I did it again just to make sure that it was the same results. And here's the nutrition information, which as well I have on my box for my cupcakes, and then the allergy warnings at the bottom, which is as well in the box. And for equipment safety and sanitation, throughout the process, I took safety procedures such as wearing an apron and putting back my hair to make sure everything was in a safe spot, and wore closed-toe shoes in case anything sharp was dropped. After time, something that was used to bake was done with. It was immediately washed with hot water and soap and dried with a clean towel, and then every surface was cleaned after with spray and paper towels. Here's all the tools I used. I used a KitchenAid, a whisk, some spoons, half cup measuring cup, liquid measuring cup, a rubber scraper, cupcake tins, a sifter, 1 teaspoon, a half teaspoon, a cup, 3/4 cup, and a separate bowl. And for the actual and suggested pricing, the overall project price was $40 for ingredients, my board, and overall prints. And then for a pricing for one of the cupcake boxes, this is just a smaller version of the box, but it would look like this. It would be $10 per box, and a more accurate pricing would be $15 due to all the ingredients and the boxing, etc. And then here's my product summary. So the product name is Going Bananas for Cupcake Perfection, and the target market is to introduce this new product to everyone around the globe, to a new healthy snack for on the go, or even if you have friends over or family, or just if you want to bake. And the target audience is anyone because everyone loves cupcakes, either if it's for a birthday party or a morning snack or a breakfast, it's in everyone's life. And here's some pictures of my original board from before and my original box from before. And then here's now. I added some decorations and I made a better box. And here's the back of it. And here is my summary submission. And then finally answering some of the questions is that one skill that I learned from this project for my future career or maybe next school year would be on how to incorporate ingredients that I'm not really familiar with, or changing a recipe up for healthier benefits, just like kind of playing around with the recipe, and as well going with the flow, but also keeping clean and keeping safe. And one challenge I faced while making this was probably the stevia, incorporating it in, since I've never really used stevia. But I faced the challenge by just trying again and making sure it worked, and it came out nice, and it really did. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope you like my project.